All right, let's dive right in. Now, economic development is both the development of property, but it's also the development of new businesses in town. So this is a map of our town that has very small print on it. That's why you have a handout in front of you. And this shows all of the different parcels of land that are either under development, development planned, and in various stages in between. We'll start by talking about the Superior Marketplace. This is better known as the Costco, Target Center, and they had a new business last year, My School Music, and 3 new businesses are going to be coming online in this year. Ethan Allen is going to be building a store in front of Costco, and Masaki at Superior is a sushi restaurant that's going to go into the Arby's, the former Arby's building, and we have a bike shop last month. Oh, and Wayne Smoke Shack had this expansion.
All right, downtown Superior. That's where we are right here. We're in the Sports Stable building. How many is first time in the Sports Stable building? Most of you have been here. Okay, good. If you've not been here before, if not explored around inside the building, definitely walk around after we're done here. Explore the Sports Stable. It's a pretty amazing facility in our town. They just opened a barber shop downstairs. There's over 30 different businesses that are in this facility, so it's a pretty amazing and dynamic place. Superior Medical Center just opened next door. Cornerstone, Boulder Community Health Urgent Care, a couple of other businesses. Downtown Superior Residential is going very well. We've got 2 builders active here. We've got Remington and Wonderland Homes. They are building. And we've got 31 homes that have been completed and are now occupied. Any residents here from downtown Superior? Okay, a couple of you. All right, welcome. So welcome our new residents. We've got our first hotel is going to be opening in Superior this year, an Element by Westin. It's over next to the old Chicago's and where the original Ice Center was built, right over there. And Discovery Residential, 22 duplex units. Discovery is the office park kind of midway up McCaslin on the hill. They're building some residential townhomes there, and those should get under construction this year. Tesla. You may have heard of Tesla. I put Tesla on this slide because it didn't really know which way it was going to go, but this morning at 12:15 a.m. we did pass the Tesla development. So Tesla is coming to Superior, and that should open next year. Thank you. All right. These are some images from inside the Sports Stable, and I have trouble hearing you. Okay, I will try my best to project. These are some images from inside the Sports Stable. Again, if you've not looked around in here, be sure to take a look. Here's a map of the residential that's under development. I mentioned that earlier. Some images of the residential up top that is under construction, and then some concept images. All this is in your package. If you don't have a handout, we've got plenty of handouts, so please pick one of those up and see these in detail. Here's some images of the Element by Westin Hotel that is under construction. Cal Monte 2, next to Fire Station number 5. They've pretty much completed the townhomes, and they're now on to residential homes. There's 33 single-family homes that are being built there, and they're just starting with the models. The Resolute property is a piece of property between the Flatirons Mall and Bell Flatiron's apartments. Also, right across from Chick-fil-A, probably a good landmark to get your bearings. So that property, you've seen dirt work going on there. So they're doing infrastructure work there, putting in streets and utilities. in 2016, we changed the zoning designation of that from commercial to residential, and it's anticipated to have townhomes, up to 100 townhomes there. And then there's also 2 hotel pads that are anticipated for closer down by the Flatiron Mall. So a little bit of commercial. We wanted to retain the commercial, but also recognizing that the entire parcel for commercial was probably not going to happen for a long time. So residential, commercial seemed to be a good balance for that side. Rock Creek Village, also known as the Safeway Shopping Center, had some activity this past year. The liquor store, Rock Creek Wine and Spirits, moved into the bank building, and Mellow Stop had a nice renovation. Sushiyama has new ownership. And Land Rover, although Land Rover is not in the Rock Creek Village, it's right across the street, I just thought I'd point out, they are moving to Broomfield. If you've been around Broomfield and seen the Audi dealership that has been built over in Broomfield, the building that's going up next to it is Land Rover. They just ran out of space where they were in Superior. We've enjoyed having them for all these years, but they've run out of space, and their corporate ownership wanted them to be on a more highway location. We really couldn't do much about either of those things to keep.
I'm gonna try.
If I try a new microphone. Don't move, because all right, development applications in progress. These are projects that you could see this coming year if they move forward as anticipated. The Anderson property is a piece of property between the downtown Superior development and Rock Creek, and that is proposed residential duplexes. All right, downtown Superior, block 25, so additional residential, could see some plans for additional residential. In fact, at the next board meeting, we're going to have a group called Thrive Homes that's already been through Planning Commission. That'll be coming to the board at the next meeting. Zaharias property is along 88th Street, right on the border of Superior to Louisville. That will be proposed residential apartments. We've seen a couple of proposals, or seen a couple of concept plans on that in the past, and they're moving forward with plans, and they are anticipated this fall to come into Planning Commission and Town Board. And the Resolute property, which I spoke about earlier, that's also timing for this fall. Again, we're going to have question and answer. We'll allow a lot of time for question and answer, so please keep those in mind. And I'm going to turn it over to Matt now to talk about the town budget.
Continue to see sustained revenue growth, as well as a significant reinvestment in the community through our capital program, and as well as an aggressive reduction in our debt. We're just over $40 million in budget. The largest portion of that is our revenue is from our sales and use tax. Property tax would be our next significant piece of revenue, and then a number of other charges for service. That's mainly like building permits, our system development fees, utility fees, those kind of things. This is a chart of our expenditures. As you can see, some of our largest expenditures are general fund, which is our daily operations for maintenance of the community, whether it's parks or public works or those type of things, and then our government capital, and that's what you see as far as if we build a new park or if we have road construction, that's what makes up our capital budget. And then a host of other things, we have water capital and debt payments and those type of things that are also. So these next two charts show the revenue growth that I've been talking that I mentioned when I first came up here. As you can see, this continual upslope of our sales tax revenue, which is a good thing because most cities in Colorado, that is their biggest revenue source, is the sales and use tax. So we projected in 2022, we're going to get close to that $20 million threshold, which is a significant milestone for the town. This next slide shows our property tax increase. Something to point out here is Boulder County has an exceptional knack for sustaining our property tax values even in recessions, which is great for homeowners and businesses alike, and it's good for the town because it's a good, stable revenue source for the town. This is the debt reduction chart that I talked about. In 2006, we had our all-time high of debt of just over $70 million. And that was the year we issued debt to purchase open space. The largest portion of our debt is from our District 1, which is our water, sewer, storm utility for the town. And that went to build the water and wastewater treatment plants and also buy our water rights for the town. But as you can see, we've put in a plan since 2006 to aggressively reduce the amount of debt the town has. So at the end of this year, 2018, we'll be just under 30 million. And then in the next 5 years, we expect to be close to $10 million in debt, which is awesome. And it just puts us in a good, sound financial position to the town. We do have some additional debt that we may take on in the next 5 years. We have improvements at the wastewater treatment plant that we'll have to be doing for state mandates for water quality. We'll probably have to issue debt for that. And then we have a big water reservoir firming project that we're partners of, and we'll have to probably be a partner in the debt for that project. So I'm going to talk about districts 2 and 3 debt. I'm going to click to the next slide that shows the map. So a large majority of our residents live in District 2 and 3. These were the metropolitan districts that were formed when Rock Creek was built, and they went to issue debt for parks and roads and other public improvements. And then property tax was assessed to homeowners and businesses within these 2 districts to build those public improvements. So the purple, I guess I'm going to call it, is District 2, and that's from Colton to the north edge of Rock Creek. So Waterford and that neighborhood to the north. And the lower part is District 3, and that's from Colton to the south. So, there we go. So, at the end of 2018, those residents live in these 2 districts or businesses, the debt will be paid off, which is a huge milestone for the town and something we're proud of. And you'll see if you live in those districts, you'll see a mill levy reduction at the end of this year of 5 mills for both districts. A little bit, in that range. They vary between the 2 districts. These districts, when they were first formed, they were created by the developer, and when the town took over the districts, they were about 25 mills. Once the town took it over, we dropped that to 15, and we've been lowering that mill levy ever since the town took over those 2 districts, and now we're going to have them paid off in 2018. Breakdown of property tax. I think this is important because a lot of people aren't sure where the property taxes go to. A lot of people think they go to the town. So I just wanted to show the slide. The top 3 entities that give property tax are the school district, the county, and the fire district. And you can see there that our general fund only gets about 8 mills, or 7% of that property tax that we pay on an annual basis. This is just a general summary of where we were last year. Sales tax was about 6% up from the previous year. Vehicle use tax was the 2nd highest of all time in the town. And then our one-time building fees was at an all-time high for the town as well. With all the construction we've been having, it's continued to go up. Utilities, that's the District 1, that's the water, sewer, and storm utility. It's in a good shape. It's an enterprise fund, and it's self-sustained, which it hasn't been since it was created, which means the fees that are collected pay for the operations. So that's a significant achievement for the town. and this enterprise. This is just something I've been talking about, how the revenues are out, expenses are down, or are on budget. And we expect this to continue as long as we don't have any major closings of any retailers, because knock on wood, it's something that we won't have. With that, turn it over to Mick.
Every year we do a lot of work on our streets. As you know, asphalt is always needing work, and so we've got a street maintenance program for 2018, and Matt will have a slide on this in just a moment. Public art, you might have heard about our new public art project that is going into the Main Street and McCaslin roundabout. I've got an image of that coming up. Very exciting that we have a very big and prominent piece of art work going into the roundabout. That is, we're negotiating the contract right now. We expect it to be installed about a year from now. So not this year, but about this time next year. Skate park, always a very popular item with the younger crowd. I've gotten a lot of constituent inquiries about what happened to our skate park at the south pool. Well, it was a wooden structure, basically fell apart from popular use. We've looked at putting in a more permanent skate park, similar to what Louisville has, made out of concrete. It was planned to go into the same area around the south pool, but we ran into some utility underground issues, some soil issues that really dramatically increased the cost of putting it by the south pool. So we've looked at some new areas. We've got a slide on the new spot that we're looking at. Pickleball courts is something that our Parks and Recreation Open Space Pro Stack group is looking at. Cemetery improvements. How many didn't even know we had a cemetery? We do. It's open for business. It's actually right next door, and it's got a lot of really neat history in it. And our historical commission does do tours there once a year. So if you're into old cemetery and old things like that, it's right next door. Northwest Area Planning Study is, the northwest part of Superior is right over there, original town, Superior Marketplace, and we're looking at that area comprehensively to see if zoning and all those things are kind of in sync with where residents in that area and the town as a whole wants that to go. So we're looking at that comprehensively. Our planning commission is really taking the lead on that project. Always doing parks and trail improvements around town, and water and wastewater treatment operations. Here's an image of the public art that our board approved. At the first meeting in March, we approved that, and that is going to go into this roundabout right out here at Main and McCaslin. The skate park that I was talking about earlier, we're looking at putting it in Autry Park, which that name may not ring a bell, but it's the bike park, dog park part of Superior, and that seemed to be a good fit. Skate parks, as you can imagine, a little bit noisy from the activity there, and so the idea of putting it at Wildflower Park, Community Park, you know, it's sort of, it would create new impacts on people. They're like, wait a minute, didn't sign up for that. So this has not been finalized yet, but this is kind of the prevailing idea of where that's going to go. And it's got decent accessibility with trails and so on going in and out of that area. A lot of people go to the dog park and bike park as well. So it seems to be a good fit for that area. Behind Bell Flatter. It is adjacent to Bell Flatter. So there's that. Yes. Cemetery that you didn't know existed. There it is. Northwest Area Planning Study is, again, the area of Superior Marketplace, original Superior. Water and wastewater. You know, this is kind of one of the unseen things that your town does for you. Provides good drinking water and takes care of the wastewater. I always enjoy going through this segment with the second graders at the town hall tours, talking about what does the town do for you, and go through all the water and wastewater things. Always get a lot of good giggles out of that. We're talking about wastewater. But these are all the very technical things that we do on an ongoing basis. I know some residents in town, they're kind of smelling our wastewater treatment plant. We're definitely aware of that. Don't want that to be happening, but it's really a facilities issue and facilities upgrade issue. Some of this equipment is the age of Rock Creek, and that's 21, 25 years old. So equipment needs upgrading. And the good news is we do have adequate water supplies for all the development that we've got planned, and we've got adequate water treatment facilities. It's just more of an ongoing maintenance and repair.
Well, I know how everybody loves road construction, so last year we had the roundabout project, which took forever. This year we have extension of that. Over the last 2 years, we spent a significant amount of capital in our residential streets. Over the last 10 years, we're trying to improve those, and now we're getting into the major roadways within the town. Last year we did reconstruction on Rock Creek Parkway over by Bell Flatiron, and this year we're going to be on McCaslin Boulevard. So we're going to reconstruct part of the road on McCaslin from the roundabout to Rock Creek Parkway and do an overlay on the rest of it. The roads on the McCaslin, Colton, Rock Creek Parkway are starting to get to a point where they need our attention, so that's what we're focusing on, trying to do it in a way that has the least amount of impact to residents and the general public. So we'll start this summer and hopefully have it wrapped up by October. Next year, we're going to focus on 88th Street, and we're going to do a reconstruction and improvements to that, adding sidewalks to the east side of the road to make it safer, add turning lanes, those type of things, and that'll happen in 2019. So you'll see us out on the major roadways over the next 5 years doing improvements. We're proud of the trails we have in town. We continue to try to improve those and those connections that we have. This is a trail that connects the US 36 bikeway to our bus rapid transit center in the marketplace. And that connection to the BRT was completed last year. We have an underpass that goes under US 36. McCaslin, I'm sorry. And then from the BRT this year, we're planning on constructing the connection from the BRT to the Davidson Mesa underpass, which will then get you into Boulder County back on the US 36 bikeway if you want. And it should be a great project. It'll be constructed on the north side of Marshall. So you'll have hopefully a nice, safe way to get from the BRT to Davidson Mesa and back to the trail. Back to you.
This time last year, we were talking about the possible acquisition of Lakeshore. Remember that? Who was here last year? Yes? Okay. Yes, hard to believe that's been a year ago, but that was the topic of the day in the state of Superior last year because it had just come out I think it had just been announced in the newspaper like the day before. So we had a lot of discussion about the possible acquisition of Lakeshore. Well, fast forward a year later, as you know, we did not buy Lakeshore. Lifetime bought Lakeshore and renovated it into a really nice, updated private facility. So the town of Superior has never had its own recreation or community center. We grew very rapidly with the development of Rock Creek, but a recreation community center was not part of that development. So it's been something that's been talked about for a really, really long time. And the Lakeshore acquisition was just kind of one of many chapters in that story. So we continue to look at options. And so the latest option that we're looking at is what we're calling the Sports Stable Edition Community and Recreation Center. It would be right behind you. Right there, this little notch out of the building would be constructed a 2 or possibly 3-story addition to this building, partnership with the sports stable, to provide a great deal of the amenities, not 100%. I don't think anyone's saying it's going to 100% fill all the needs of the community, but it's an exciting possibility that I'm excited about continuing to discuss, and we definitely need your feedback on the ideas as they continue to evolve. We've seen this at a couple of town board meetings already, and we're looking at it at our retreat next Monday, and then we will be looking at it on an ongoing basis. So watch for materials that are be coming out, and definitely give us your feedback on does this seem to be working, or is this something we should move on and think about something else. So some of the elements that this would include is indoor aquatics, which we've never had, and looking at different ways to get indoor aquatics. That is one element of this plan. Locker rooms, party room, child watch on the first floor. Second floor or upper level could have additional exercise equipment, adult room, conference rooms, lounge, office space. The concept is also to have the ability to use this facility. Again, if you've not explored this sports stable facility, there is a lot of exercise and fitness related activities that you can go and sign up for today as a resident and get a resident discount. This is not a rec center. It's a private facility, but they have a lot of offerings that are available to residents and non-residents right now. And so the idea is that this facility would integrate with everything that's already here and really have a pretty wide range of offerings. This photograph that I've got in the bottom is obviously not from here. This was taken in Denver. The city of Denver just built their latest recreation center, Carla Madison Recreation Center on Colfax. It's a multi-story, $40 million recreation center, amazing facility. We went down and toured it, and I was very impressed with what they did in a very compact footprint on multiple stories. And what really stood out to me was this top floor element that they've got overlooking downtown Denver. And about 3/4 of it is inside. It's got big roll-up garage doors where you can walk out onto this patio, and I could just envision the same thing right here. And I think that the space on the top could be subdivided and provide a lot of the indoor classroom and class spaces. So again, I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited about Lakeshore. I get excited about this stuff, but interested in your feedback as you read more about this, digest it, and let us know what you think. Cold Creek Corridor is just right over here between McCaslin and US 36. We've approved improvements to this Cold Creek Corridor. There's been a lot of trees cut down, but there were invasive species trees. They are being replaced as a part of this work. And that is work that you will see ongoing during 2018. This will kind of be the centerpiece of the 2 parks that are going to be over in this area once that plan comes together as well. That's pretty much it for our slides. I want to thank Heather Tradecraft again, the Superior Chamber, for helping organize the event. Town staff for organizing the slides and coordinating the space. And thanks to the Sports Stable, Brunelleschi's, Gil, Luke, Dan, Ann, Braxton, all the Sports Stable team for being great partners with this and so many other things. As most of you know, I'm in my 4th year of my first term as mayor, and this November we've got 3 trustee seats up for election, plus the office of mayor. The office of mayor is a direct election in the town of Superior versus some towns that have their councils elect mayors. On March 30th, a little over a week ago, I filed my candidate affidavit declaring my intent to run for re-election. It's been a challenge and invigorating and a lot of fun serving as mayor, and I look forward to having the opportunity to do so again. So I thank you for allowing me to represent you as mayor, locally, regionally, nationally. It's been a great honor and a great amount of fun. So with that, we've gone through our slides in a much faster time frame than I thought we would. So we have plenty of time for questions and answers. I think they've got little bit more food. So if you didn't get any, or you ate all of yours and got hungry again, go get some more. Feel free to kind of mingle. Move. I know some people got to leave early, some people may not, but just feel free to mingle, listen to our question and answer. And again, thank you for coming. This is a great turnout. Each year we have a bigger turnout, so we'll figure out the microphone thing for next year and expand into the whole thing. And yeah, thanks so much for interest in the town of Superior. With that. His question was about trail connections along this Coal Creek corridor, and I don't know without seeing a map, I don't know the exact piece of it, but I can imagine that's kind of in process. And trail connections and getting pedestrian connections top priority for the whole network. So let me know after follow up when we get more details. His question was, what and when can we expect to see something along Main Street from McCaslin in here to downtown? And I spoke to this last night during my comments about Tesla. And my feeling is that it's one step at a time. We, as the town board, we cannot make things get built. This is a private development. This entire 150 plus acre development is a private development. And so what does that mean? It means it depends on the economy. It depends on businesses investing into this concept and building things. Residential market right now is very strong. I think we're seeing very good progress on residential. That builds critical mass of people to then buy stuff that we want to buy and see in the town, along Main Street. But part of the reason, the biggest reason that I supported the Tesla development was because it represents momentum to me, and momentum is important. Either forward or backwards momentum is important in getting things done. If we say no to things, especially a big name like that, if we say no, not for us, that sends a signal that, maybe they're not so open for business there. I believe that by saying yes to that, that's going to put anybody looking to develop in this or any other development, they're looking at maps. And those maps have got businesses on them. And Superior's map looks pretty impressive. You've got a Costco and a Target and a Whole Foods, and you kind of expand the rings out. There's Home Depot and Lowe's. Those are in Louisville, but this sector is a very impressive map of retailers. And now we've got a Tesla right there on that same map. And so I think when we talk to what's going to come down here on Main Street, so when the developers of Main Street go out into the market and they're trying to attract people, they put that down and they say, here's who we've got. And I've got to believe that is momentum towards getting more things here.
And just to add to what the mayor said, I had a meeting this morning actually with the representative of RC Superior, which is the master developer for the town center. And their hope is they're working on negotiating with 2 different development partners on Main Street, hopefully. They have hoping to have development plans to the town and the board by this year, the end of this year sometime. And if those get approved, if those come to fruition, start construction next year, have something open by 2020. But, like the mayor said, it depends on the market, and negotiations sometimes fail, but that's what they're working on currently.
It's definitely a top priority of our board. So her question was, where is the planned location for Tesla? It is at Marshall and McCaslin. You know where the new Starbucks firehouse, just to the south of that, the detention line is going to be filled in, and that's where it's going to be. His question was, what is the construction of McCaslin going to look like? Is there a tear out of the median on McCaslin anticipated? There's resurfacing, but not a tear out of the median. The question was, is Tesla going to change the downtown Superior arrangements at all?
And I don't think it's going to change anything. It's another piece of the puzzle. Is how I view it. I mean, some don't like the aesthetics of it. Some don't like the idea of automotive use. Those are fair arguments. We've got her question was, when is the new map available? We've got a lot of documents on the town's website, and what was presented at last night's proposal for the Tesla presentation. So that's on the website. A kind of an economic development map of the town that would be forthcoming. Her question was, do we have any commitments for downtown? The master developer, RC Superior, is really taking the lead on that, and I imagine their answer to that would be yes. There's a lot of things in the works that have not been made public yet, or soon to be made public. But those, they have a lot of discussions as things are coming together, and then once they're kind of ready for prime time, then they get released to us. Is there any chance of us getting a King Soopers? And I think anything's on the table. That's not been something that I've heard is imminent. There is a kind of a master plan of this entire development that shows whether it's going to be residential, commercial, which could be office, could be grocery, could be a number of things, or flex, which could be even. And so that map, I think I know the area you're talking about. That's some of it's commercial, some is flex. So that's. But has there been anything come along that is being built right now? No. They are moving dirt. They move a lot of dirt around here. Must cost a fortune to move all that dirt. But I think part of what I've heard, it's not just for sport. It's we have very expansive soils here, as most of you probably know and have experienced at one place or another at your homes or on your streets or so on. What I've heard they're doing is they dig it up and they're mixing it and they're conditioning it to make it not so expansive. So that is this big hole, the new hole that's being dug out here is now being filled back in, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going on, is soil conditioning. Is that correct? Okay. His question was, I've seen some concept plans with movie theater, possible grocery, hotel. We've seen a lot of concepts from pre-breaking ground of anything of what could be built out here. And what the town manager was talking about is the master developer is working with a group to try to get a series of things built around the town plaza. So there's the big parking lot out here is going to be where the plaza area, kind of the centerpiece of downtown, is going to be eventually built. And then around that will be shops, restaurants, other things. Could be a hotel, could be a movie. Again, it really depends on multiple groups kind of coming together and saying, yes, we're gonna bet on Superior, we're gonna build in Superior, we're gonna invest in Superior. So it's not a development where everything's pre-planned. It's pieces of it and come along as economies. His question was about how is the retail elements of downtown Superior going to come together? And so it really is RC Superior's project, and they don't have a committee per se. It's pretty much they are running that, but they do have the vision that they want more upscale and really high quality retail and restaurant establishments here. So they're definitely still working towards that.
Get on the planning commission.
Yeah. We do that, yes.
So the question was, how dependent are our future revenue projections on the town center build out and new retail coming in and those type of things? Always a concern for us over the years has been diversification of our sales tax base, because the marketplace with Rock Creek Center have been our two largest sales tax revenues, and like I mentioned in the slide, if we have a major retailer close, that's going to have a significant impact on our budget. So, that's, one of the key goals of the town center is to, one, stabilize our District 1, which is storm, sewer, and water, through new development fees and get that to be self-sufficient enterprise. And then two would be to diversify our sales tax base through new retailers coming in, having office that want to, office users like to eat here and shop here, and then having the sports stable open, and people coming into town, new people coming into town for different reasons and shopping here. So, it's a key component. It's a key component.
Question was about the area across from Rock Creek Village. There's a Starbucks on the corner of Colton and Rock Creek Circle, and the Land Rover building. What is going to happen with that? Land Rover's projected to move out towards the end of this year, move into their new facility in Broomfield. They also own the buildings, the two buildings where Starbucks is located, and the two, well, in the spaces that are unoccupied. They've been a hair salon, and there just haven't been much traction there. I've heard of some negotiations on that space, on the space next to Starbucks and the building behind it. I don't know if it's quite ready for prime time yet, so I won't disclose what I've heard there. But I've heard that there's leasing discussions with a group for that. And as far as the building, the Land Rover building itself, I've not heard of any, and Matt hasn't either. We talked about this before just to make sure we were in sync with what we knew, and we've not heard anything from them. But I suppose there's a variety of uses that could go in there, and as they transition out, I'm sure they're going to be looking for, I'm not sure if they're going to be looking for a sale or to keep it and lease it. I'm just not sure how that's going to play out. Jackie's question was about the town, we call it the Town 15. It's got 15 acres of land at the corner of Colton and McCaslin. So a little history on that piece of land. A lot of people are not aware that Rock Creek at one time was envisioned to grow onto the west side of McCaslin. And it was basically going to be a mirror image of Rock Creek on the west side of McCaslin. And so the McCaslin and Colton intersection was zoned commercial in anticipation that would kind of be the center, kind of a neighborhood center, kind of like Rock Creek Village is now, but that was zoned commercial with the idea of maybe a convenience store, maybe gas station, who knows. Well, during the boom of building of Rock Creek, Boulder County came along and bought the land on the west side of McCaslin, and basically put the brakes on Superior of the day expanding there. And I think a lot of people now are pretty happy with that decision because it's basically contained our growth and provides a pretty amazing vista out to the west, and it's a pretty special space to go recreate on. So anyway, that's for that space. Richmond Homes owned that 15 acres, and in 2014, late 2014, the town board made the decision, had an opportunity to buy that land. And as you know, land acquisitions are not all that frequent, so the town board made the decision to acquire that piece of land. Now, it's been acquired, it's zoned commercial, and that's about as far as we've gotten. It's been contemplated as rec center, it's contemplated as fields, it's been contemplated as nothing, parking for special events. I mean, it's kind of a blank slate, and so we even had our open space. We had dinner with our open space committee last night, as we do with all of our committees, try to meet with them on an annual basis for a working dinner, and they asked about it as well. What do you want us to do with that, if anything? And our Parks and Rec committee said the same thing. So we as a board need to talk about that, but believe me, it will be a major engagement process, whatever is done there. whenever it's done. We're not in a particular rush to do anything with it. Any updates on a possible library? The best, I think the best place a library could go, so this, as downtown Superior gets built, there is a component of civic space that the town will get. And part of that could be this recreation community center component that we're adding on here, that we're considering for adding on here. The other idea is another building, kind of a to-be built in the future building adjacent to the plaza area. And that, in my mind, is probably the best location. When will that be done? How? It's kind of to be determined. If this concept plan that the town manager talked about comes to fruition, we could see some buildings. We need a building to put it in, or we need to move something out of a building, and put it there. So there's, it's definitely still on the radar. So his question was, what about performing arts? We talked a lot about trails, open space, recreation. What about performing arts? Could that be a possibility? I think anything is a possibility if there's a critical mass of people that want that to happen. I think our biggest challenge in this town right now is space. This room that we're in is literally the biggest room to have an event like this. I don't think there's another room other than Bellflower has got a community center, but it's another private facility and kind of depends on their scheduling. But I think the biggest challenge for performing arts would be a space, and so something would have to be constructed to have that.
And we have a new committee, CAPS, which is Cultural Arts and Public Spaces, I think. But they're big on just exactly that, trying to find new ways to bring events or, performing arts or concerts to the town that people can enjoy. So you might look into that committee as well.
Yeah, I mean, the question was about demographics. Where can she get accurate demographics on Superior? And my first answer would be the website, but if you're saying it's not there,
Well,
then
I said that was just not
Yeah.
information there.
our chamber might have links to that. I know it's out there, so
Yeah.
we can definitely follow up.
I mean,
with
so
this.
we're just sandwiches.
This question was about the future growth and our ability to handle that growth with the infrastructure that we've got in place. And I'm very confident that we've got the infrastructure plans in place to accommodate all the growth. We are a 4 square mile town. We're about 13,000 people. We might grow to around 17,000 people when everything is built out. And that's pretty much it. And the growth would have been, I don't know what the projections were, when Rock Creek was anticipated to grow on the other side of McCaslin. That was our water systems and sewer systems were anticipating that future growth. So we anticipated a lot more growth. So we're in pretty decent shape. I think we're about done. Thank you again for your interest and attention. Appreciate you coming.